And yes, we finally have the Patreon account. So let's go ahead and talk about what I will now be able to offer you on the Patreon account. So the first tier starts at $2. And in the $2 tier, you will be helping us out with $2 a month, okay? And once you become a member of the tier, that tier is called the supporters tier, you will receive a bonus shout out at the end of a video. Now let's talk about the next tier. So the next tier is going to be the Q&A live chat tier, and that will be held through what is called Discord. And once you become a member of that tier, that is a $5 tier, $5 a month, you will be able to chat with me live. So we will be able to talk to one another pretty much like text messaging in real time, and you'll be able to ask me whichever questions that you would like, and we'd be able to get to know each other even better. So now let's move on to the next tier. Oh, and by the way, did I even say it? The Q&A live chat tier will be held once a month, okay? Alright, so moving on to the next tier. The $10 tier will be the mentoring tier. And in the mentoring tier, I will be getting to know you even more. We will be talking about your artwork in particular. So every 3 months, you will be able to submit an image of one of your artworks. Now you can submit multiple images of the same artwork if you're concerned of how you took the picture, or if you want to take close-up pictures and things like that, as long as it's one artwork, okay? And what I will do is I will write you a constructive critique, all right? So I will be talking about elements such as drawing, value, structure, and or color. You know, if it's a drawing, then we won't really talk about color, right? So I will be talking about things such as anatomy. I will talk about a little bit, perspective, if it's a still life painting or a still life drawing. And it will be very, very objective based. You know, I'm not going to say yay or nay or anything like that. It will be very constructive and very informative. All right, so now let's move on to the next tier. The next tier, starting at $20, will be the live stream. So with the $20 a month tier, you will be able to watch me create a painting or watch me draw live. So you will be given instructions upon being a supporter of the live stream tier. You will be given instructions on how to sign on to the platform that I'll be using to do live streams, and you'll be able to listen to me talking directly to you live in real time. You will be given the date of the live stream in advance, so you have time to know exactly when and where to get onto your computer. That being said, even at the $2 tier, okay, even the $2 a month will help this channel out so much. What I want to do is to be able to make better and better content for you. The most important thing for me is to be able to make this financially sustainable. Once this becomes financially sustainable, I will be able to provide better and better content for you. I will have a film crew. I will be able to work from life, be able to hire models to pose for me, multiple cameras, multiple camera angles, a computer that doesn't freeze, a better editor than iMovie. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. And it really all starts with you. So thank you so much if you're able to contribute. And if you're not able to contribute, just your being here every day, listening to me, being a part of this daily show means the world to me. So thank you so much. So that concludes everything for the Patreon. So now let's continue to develop this underpainting. So what we have here on the palette is titanium white and burnt umber, and our medium is Neo medium. And what I did was, with the palette knife, I mixed up 9 values just so I didn't have to spend so much of our time mixing up the value web. So this will stay in place for the value web. And if you would like to know exactly what materials I'm using and or purchase the same type of materials, I have the materials typed up in the description box down below along with their affiliated Amazon links. So if you click on one of those links and you so happen to decide to purchase one of the same type of materials that I'm using, Amazon will pay me a small amount. So thank you so much in advance for that. One last thing, last but not least, that I really want to say is a really big thank you to Lucy. My girlfriend Lucy, you know I've painted her so many times. I did that large painting of her with my portrait group that you saw on my Instagram, though it wasn't on YouTube. I did a couple more, paintings of her. I think I painted her in purple one time, like a purple underpainting of her. But in any case, I really want to thank you, Lucy, because you helped me so much with the Patreon account as well as my website. So that's my next announcement, okay? The next announcement is that you can now purchase paintings, original oil paintings from my website. Some of the pet portraits that I've painted, where I decided to go through the pictures that you sent me, and then I painted some of the dogs or the parrot. I have some of those available, as well as every single painting that you see on my website. You are now able to purchase it so long as you contact me through the website, and we can facilitate that through the website, all thanks to Lucy. So everyone give a big round of applause. Clap the palette, okay? Raise the palette, okay, for Lucy. Lucy has done so much to help me and is going to continue to help me because she is my technical person. So every time you email me and I'm telling you that I'm talking to my technical person, my computer person, that's Lucy. So thanks again, Lucy. Now let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is designate 3 brushes, okay? So one brush is going to live somewhere around here, the light region. Another brush is going to live around the middle tone region, and then another brush will be for the darker darks. So I'm thinking that I'm going to start off with probably, the darker darks. So I'm going to use my Neo McGill medium. And let's suppose we'll go for this one here. And today's episode in terms of the painting is going to be rather quick, just because I spent a long time talking about and introducing the Patreon. So what we're going to do is just continue to develop some of the forms for the neck and shoulders. So I'm going to start off with this value here. Now ideally I would have oiled out the areas that I'm going to work on, but I don't think that I'm going to oil it out really, because this is just the odorless mineral spirits and burnt umber that I used in the initial underpainting. So as far as the painting technique is concerned, I am using what I am now going to be calling Yupari's classical technique. So in this stage, we are still in the underpainting stage, and we're still in the poster stage. One thing you'll notice is that the classical technique, what it enables you to do is to break down the painting process into a series of understandable steps. So right now what I'm doing is, with the dark value, I'm just starting to go over the darker areas, the areas that are turning away from the light. And the purpose of the underpainting, and in particular this part of the underpainting, the poster image just means that you are prioritizing the light and dark delineations, okay? So it doesn't mean that we're just going to have only light and shadow, because you can see that there are some halftones there. And really quickly we're going to actually start to get into some of the halftones here for the sternocleidomastoid. So this is the sternocleidomastoid right here. So it is the neck muscle. It is the tube-like muscles that go right back here. There's going to be another one over here. We're going to see some traces of it over here as it connects all the way down to here. Now, I'm not an expert in anatomy. I do know enough anatomy, I think, to get a relatively decent figure painting or figure drawing done. But it is important to keep in mind the sternocleidomastoid and know that it goes all the way down here, connects right over here to the clavicles, and then we have the suprasternal notch right over here. And like I said, I'm going to try to keep this portion of the painting rather short and sweet, because next time we work on this painting, we're probably going to just go right into the hands and the drapery, and then we'll let it dry and prepare it for the next stage, which will be the local color stage. So now we're putting in another plane. So this is going to be, continuation of the neck muscles. So if this is the sternocleidomastoid, this is going to be another little plane division going this way, down that way, then lighter over here. So now that means I will be switching to a lighter value, a little more neo-McGilt medium. So this is going to be for the mid-tones. And I want to be very cautious though I don't want to do too much, for the neck. I don't want to end up, closing out the forms too much. So I'm trying to get this plane to read. Just switching between brushes till I get the value that I want. And I'll probably talk about it near the end of the video, but the outfit that I'm wearing, I just wanted to wear, I just wanted to have a different look. Sometimes I tend to try out different looks. Like, remember that one time I tried out wearing that hat, just to look different and to protect my eyes. I don't know. Just today I felt like wearing something different. Alright, so now we have this plane going this way, another plane going this way. Now I want to emphasize this plane a little more than I have. So I'm going to have a plane division from here to here. So I want to make this one a little bit more evident. Okay. And then it's going to get darker again as we move towards here. I could probably almost even do this with one brush, to be honest, really. But just to save a little bit of time. And pre-mixing those values also does save you quite a lot of time. That's actually what I did in yesterday's video when we were working on that still life, the still life that I'm working on using the classical approach. The classical approach with water mixables. So I decided might as well just do that here with the traditional. So I'm going to darken this sternocleidomastoid a little more. A little bit darker there. There we go. Now I'm going to get into the lighter region of the palette. That'll be our first little light there. So there's a plane right here. Then we're going to drop down in value slightly. And I have another plane here for the neck. If anything, I don't want the neck to distract from the face. So one way I can make sure it doesn't distract too much is by softening. So I'm going to soften a little bit over here. And with the underpainting, like I usually say, you want to work a little bit darker. Darker, really. Scratch that. No, not darker, okay? You want to work lighter. It's the exact opposite. You want to work lighter and softer. Just because as you progress in the layers, it's actually easier to darken, especially when you start to add color and all of that. It'll be easier for you to, to work over top of something that's just lighter. And I'm speaking to you from just a practical standpoint. Alright, now we're working down towards the clavicles. And then once we lock in the clavicles, I think I'll go ahead and paint the shoulders. So the bottom of the shoulders, that is, on my own. Just so I don't fill today's episode with too much stuff. A little darker over there. So the clavicle has a lighter plane over here. So it's lighter here, darker here as it turns away from the light, somewhere over here. And it gets lighter here. But then again, you don't have to put that much specificity. So here, let me just cover this. Because again, when we go in with color, the color layers, a little bit darker here. So when we go in with the color layers, it'll actually be a little bit easier to work on top of a shape that's relatively flat. There we go. Definitely don't want to overdo this area here. Just softening that. Okay. Just continue to cover this. Now, after standing back, so standing back actually helps me see with a little more clarity. I think that this could be more flat, facing the light a little bit more. So now I'm just going to be working back and forth between these shapes. A little more light here. Okay, so that's going to be pretty much how I'm going to be going back and forth now between all of these shapes, and then making the values more and more specific to one another, though I don't really need to close the form. So I don't need to make it look completely realistic by applying the entire value spectrum. And in any case, I mean, the burnt umber is already compressed anyway, so because burnt umber on its own cannot get as dark as ivory black or ultramarine blue, so we're already compressing the value range enough. Okay, so the shoulders here I will paint on my own off camera, but I think that we're good with this. Alright, now that we have the basic planes for the neck and the shoulders painted in, I think that we're good to go to just soften some of these shapes. So I'm just using a clean and dry synthetic brush. Just trying to very, very lightly just soften. And if you have a fan brush that's in good shape, then I would use a fan brush instead, but this is just what I have here. I think we're going to flatten this out a little bit more. Some of the information here got kind of lost. You know, there's a plane change here and here, but it got kind of ambiguous. So I think that it's okay to just flatten this. And then when we come back with color on another day, after this dries, we'll put in much more specificity. So a few more little touches with this. I'm just going to use my fan brush. It's not in the best shape or good shape at all, but I think that it'll at least put a uniform mark, so that is going in this direction in a larger area. There we go. Yeah, I think that ought to be pretty good. That being said, I really do hope that today's video helps you out, and always remember, in a world that can be so negative, so negative, be the spark that ignites positivity amongst all of us. Putting on a smile is a contagious thing. Let's make the world a much happier place, starting with you. And of course, if you would like to support this channel even more, I will now have links to the Patreon account in the description box of every single one of these videos following today's episode. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And let's all give a very special thank you to Kathleen O'Brien. I hope I can say your name properly, but there is your name typed out, and this is your bonus shout out. Thank you so much. I give you my eternal gratitude. Lumpy the palette here gives you his eternal gratitude. Thank you so much for being the first patron on my Patreon account. It really will help us out so much. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.